Okay, so today I'm going to do a little rant video here because I'm just very tired of the bullshit, okay? I think that I will probably take a break from YouTube for at least a week or so because I'm kind of burned out, okay? And I need a break for my mental health because the bullshit is just too much, okay? There's too much going on in the world. That is just pissing me off, okay? So many things, right? And most of the things revolve around feminism, okay, but also capitalism and tradcons and veganism, right? These three movements are destroying the world right now, okay? They're basically like the three-headed dragon or three-headed hydra or something like that, right? Okay, and there's not much being done against these things, and a lot of copers are running around. You see a lot of these black pillars, red pillars, whatever pillars, right, on YouTube. You see on Reddit, man's rights Reddit, conflating manosphere with man's rights. It's just all over the place, and it's getting very low IQ. Like the people are getting more stupid by the day, as it seems, right? And then you get also this kind of bullshit, right? I get this recommended to me by YouTube, proletarian feminism, right? This is an oxymoron because the true proletariat are men, okay? Men do most of the work, okay? They're most of the workers. So there's no such thing as proletarian feminism, okay? Women are the gender bourgeoisie. And I mean, look at this, right? This is global data, right? Okay, numbers of men versus women and who are exposed to being affected by heart disease, right? Due to long working hours, due to being overworked. And most of these people are men, as you can see in these graphs here, right? So this bullshit that, oh, the capitalism is oppressing women and there needs to be a need for proletarian feminism or there's proletarian feminism or anything like that is bullshit, okay? This is the type of shit that shows that Marxism is yet another controlled opposition movement, okay? Marxism has been corrupted by feminism, okay? There's nothing. I mean, look at the thumbnail, right? With the Kalashnikov or AK-47, right? Meanwhile, all the fighting throughout history have been done by men. When it comes to fighting in wars or revolutions, right? Revolutions for freedom. Most of revolutionaries are men, right? And they also have here, struggle against patriarchy. There's no such thing as patriarchy. Patriarchy is a conspiracy theory. You fucking muppet. Okay? You Marxists have betrayed the actual working class, the male working class. You have betrayed them. Okay? You can stick your Marxism up your ass. Okay? And also feminism, right? I mean, look at this shit, for example. Oxford gave female students more time to take tests. 15 minutes longer. 15 minutes. And it didn't even work, right? Or I guess the evil patriarchy should have given them 3 hours more to do tests in universities, right? The uber-humans need more hours to take tests so that, I mean, this is bullshit, right? This is bullshit. Women are overrepresented in the universities and yet they get even more benefits. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. I mean, seriously, just hand them out the degrees without even taking tests and assignments, right? And also this crap. The Australian government wants to have an inquiry into women's pain. Okay? They're leaving out men in this inquiry, even though men do most of the back-breaking work, right? So they're actually the most in pain, right? But the governments leave men out. Fucking horseshit. Okay? So they can see the corruption that feminism does to society, okay, on full display. Okay? And also another thing, right? Let's get into capitalism, okay? We live in a capitalist society. Okay? I hate these fucking tradcons who always say that we don't live in a capitalist society. Yeah, we actually do, though. We do live in a capitalist society. Okay? And capitalism is just another version of female hypergamy, basically. Okay? Or it's powered by female hypergamy. Every economic system is actually, including socialism, is actually powered by female hypergamy. Capitalism is just one of the most extreme versions of that, okay? Let me illustrate you that. So here's Rupert Murdoch. He's the owner of Fox News, I think, and Sky News. He's a major capitalist, okay? He's very rich, okay? And he is he was married, and then he had a divorce, and he had to give his wife Anna billions in assets and hundreds of millions in cash. Okay? And on top of that, he is even marrying again after this. Right? So you want to tell me that, the men rule the world. Meanwhile, rich capitalists like Rupert Murdoch, they easily fall prey to being divorce raped, basically. Right? Easily. So you can see that male psychology to provide for women, okay, makes them vulnerable to being exploited, right? I mean, capitalism is basically female hypergamy on steroids. Okay, this is a perfect example that illustrates this, right? This guy is willing to marry again and again, losing hundreds of millions and billions in assets, right? And again, another thing, right? Because there's so many topics that you cannot possibly cover, right? But again, this is a very ranty video, right? There's a lot of war mongering going on, and a lot of a lot of conflicts, which is also at least partly driven by capitalism, right? And imperialism. And the Ukraine war could escalate in nuclear conflict, which would be taking place in Europe, okay? There's also talk of war with Iran, right? So the United States wants war with Iran and stuff like that, and their allies. And the conflict with Kosovo, Serbia, etc. A lot of conflicts. Palestine. Okay? So, and meanwhile, the various governments, for example, in Germany, and various politicians, they talk about the draft and wanting to reintroduce the draft, right? This tradcon here, Markus Söder, he stated publicly recently on German television that he wants the male-only draft to be reintroduced. And when the moderator asked him, why only male-only? Why not include women in the draft? Then this tradcon politician said that, oh, women may have different life plans. Really? Different life plans? This is your excuse now? Maybe men also have different life plans. So this guy wants to enslave men in the military, right? But women, they get a free pass, right? Because they have different life plans, right? Like, for example, sitting in universities, or, leeching off some guy, or doing whatever, whatever it is. Men also have life plans. It shows you that male slavery is normalized in our society. Okay? Disgusting. Disgusting. And also this bullshit about the World Economic Forum, that, oh, the World Economic Forum is Marxist, and or the, a lot of tradcons mischaracterize the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is capitalist. Okay? There's some reasonable criticism to be had of Marxism, but not everything is Marxist. Okay? This is some bullshit. The Marxists are not under your bed. Okay? They're not in your closet, lurking everywhere. Okay? Stakeholder capitalism is still capitalism. It still has private property, profit, production for profit, wage labor, all the characteristics of capitalism. Okay? Klaus Schwab doesn't want to abolish capitalism, a system that made him rich and his buddies. Okay? So yeah, we actually do live under capitalism. And capitalism is more than just two people peacefully trading, which is some bullshit Austrian economics theory, right? If you actually want to see what actual capitalism is in the real world, watch this video, okay? 25 most evil corporations in the world. This is what capitalism is actually about, right? So, for example, Shell, they extracted resources in Nigeria, right, and were polluting the environment, and were mistreating workers and stuff like that. Then there were protests against it, and Shell basically lobbied the government to crack down on the protests. Okay, violently, by the way. This is the true nature of capitalism. Okay, and capitalism began with the enclosure movements, which was basically the government privatizing the commons on behalf of the capitalists. Okay? So yeah, this is actually capitalism. Not this, oh, two people peacefully trading nonsense. Okay? They just mischaracterize capitalism and say we don't live in a capitalist society, we live supposedly in a socialist society, in order to blame everything on socialism and Marxism. Okay, they say the World Economic Forum is Marxist. Meanwhile, it's actually capitalist on steroids. Okay? And they also hype up this clown Millet, right? Oh, Millet, he owned the elites at Davos, and he gave this powerful speech, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the freedom-loving ANCAP and crap Millet establishes a police state in Argentina, right? Cracks down on protests, criminalizes protests, legitimate protests, in response to his bogus economic policies. Prison or bullet. Okay? This is, I mean, the protests are in response to massive wage cuts. Okay? And privatizing whole industries, right? Selling them out, basically. This is actually, and Belay is a capitalist, okay? So there's actual authoritarianism under capitalism. You know? So I don't want to hear any excuses. Okay, and if you want to read more on, for example, capitalist shills always say, oh, capitalism lifted millions or billions out of poverty or something, which is debunked by this study, for example, capitalism in extreme poverty, okay? The rise of capitalism from the long 16th century onwards is associated with a decline in wages to below subsistence, a deterioration in human stature, and an upturn in premature mortality. Okay? So I don't want to hear this, oh, capitalism lifted billions and millions out of poverty or something. It's nonsense. It's horseshit. Okay? And also, let's talk about veganism. Okay? Because veganism is another destructive movement that puts children in a hospital or in the grave, right? And they use a lot of similar tactics like feminists, like, for example, sending death threats to farmers, okay? So they're also a very destructive movement seeking to disrupt the food supply, okay? Risking food security issues worldwide, okay? They're getting supported by large corporations. I've detailed this on my anti-war mindset channel, okay? And Mr. Pink and Yellow called veganism basically dietary no-fap, because it's sadism, basically, and masochism rolled into one, okay? Sadism to deprive innocent human beings of nutrients, basically, because the vegan diet is deficient in several nutrients. Meanwhile, all the governments, or almost all the governments, are pushing this bullshit and wanting tax on meat and all of this nonsense, and lab-grown meat and all of this crap, right? And veganism is also very heavily connected to capitalism, is pushed by capitalism. Meanwhile, these vegan nut jobs are thinking that they're so revolutionary. Okay? Meanwhile, your diet is pushed by the World Economic Forum and all these corporations, pesticide companies, etc. Okay? Tied in with the petroleum industry. So yeah, the world is just getting crazier and crazier. I mean, we might have nuclear war in Europe, maybe, you know, and we see feminism going berserk, and meanwhile we have these tradcon copers going on with their black pill and red pill and hyping up false idols like Milei and Trump and Ramswamy, who are all anti-male, by the way, in different ways, basically. Okay, and they and in Germany and the UK and other countries, they want to reintroduce the draft. I mean, it's making me sick. Okay, it's making me sick. The whole thing makes me sick. That's why I had to do this rant video. Okay, feminism, capitalism, and veganism are destroying the world, destroying society. Okay. And when I say feminism, I also mean tradconism. Okay. So yeah, I just had to do this video. I had to get this off my chest. I will probably do a break from YouTube. I will take a break from YouTube for at least 1 week after this week or something. I don't know. Right? But yeah, it's getting too much, basically. It's getting too much. The world is getting crazy and society is going down the shitter. Okay? All because of feminism, capitalism, and veganism, which drives war, famine, and the death of innocent men and boys, and all. I mean, it turns science and university and education and art all to shit, basically. So yeah, peace out.